Dear friends, myself Professor Mori SB, Associate Professor, Mahatma Phule College, Pimpri, Department of Chemistry. Today we will discuss FYBC second chapter, Chemical Equilibrium. Hello friends, today we will discuss second chapter, Chemical Equilibrium. The second law of thermodynamics introduced a new thermodynamic function called as Gibbs energy or free energy, which is defined as G is equal to H minus Ts. H is enthalpy, T is temperature of the system. For a process occurring at constant temperature and pressure, the change in Gibbs free energy is delta G, which is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Hence, for a process to be spontaneous, delta G should be less than 0. Gibbs free energy change in a chemical reaction. Gibbs free energy change in a chemical reaction. Thermodynamic function used as criteria for spontaneity of a chemical reaction is the Gibbs free energy change of a reaction. It is a thermodynamic function. For a reaction, suppose A plus B gives you C plus D. Here small letters indicate number of moles and capital letters indicate reactants or products. A and B are the reactants, C and D are the products. So delta G is equal to CGC plus DGD minus AGA plus BGB. Therefore, delta G is equal to summation of NP GM products minus summation of NR GM reactants. Here NP is number of moles of products and NR number of moles of reactants. The standard Gibbs free energy change, standard Gibbs free energy is defined as the difference between the standard molar Gibbs energies of reactants and products. Therefore, the next equation is delta G0 is equal to summation of NP G0M products minus summation of NR G0M reactants. The most stable form of an element is the state with lowest Gibbs free energy. The most stable form of an element is the state with lowest Gibbs free energy. Alternatively, it is also defined as change in free energy that will occur if the reactants in their standard state are converted into products in their standard states. Next, Gibbs free energy of a reaction. Gibbs free energy of a reaction. It is a standard value for a reaction and it does not change as the reaction proceeds. It does not change as the reaction proceeds. So, delta G0 is equal to summation of NPG0M of products minus summation of NR G0M of reactants, where G0M is the standard Gibbs energy of formation, which is defined as the free energy change that accompanies the formation of 1 mole of that substance from its constituent elements when the substance and the elements are in their standard state. When the substance and the elements are in their standard state. Next, standard Gibbs energy of formation of an element is taken as 0. It is not 0 but it is taken as 0. Standard Gibbs energy of formation of an element is taken as 0. Now, calculation of delta G0M. Delta G0M is equal to delta H0M minus T delta S0M, which applies to a reaction carried out at constant temperature. Exogonic and endergonic reactions. Earlier it was called as exothermic and endothermic. So let us see exergonic reactions. The reactions which have negative delta G0. The reactions which have negative delta G0, that is where energy is released, is called as exergonic reaction. And reactions that have a positive delta G0 are called as endergonic reactions. Reactions which have negative delta G0 where energy is released is called as exergonic, and another class is reactions that have positive delta G0 are called as endergonic reactions. Now consider a reaction between steam and carbon monoxide in a closed vessel at a closed temperature where reaction takes place rapidly. H2O gas plus CO gas and we get H2 plus CO2. This graph indicates the equilibrium. First, the concentration of CO and H2O goes on decreasing, and while the concentration of CO2 or H2 goes on increasing. It is chemical equilibrium. It is the state where concentration of a reactant and products remains constant with time. Since there is no change in concentrations of reactants and products in a reaction system at equilibrium. We consider this reaction H2O plus CO, and what we got? H2 plus CO2. Next, the law of mass action. The law of mass action states that at constant temperature, the rate of any chemical reaction is proportional to the product of molar concentrations of the reacting substances, with each concentration raised to a power equal to that number of molecules of respective reactant that occurs in chemical equation. This is the law of mass action. I repeat, the law of mass action states that at constant temperature, the rate of any chemical reaction is proportional to the product of molar concentrations of reacting substances, with each concentration raised to power equal to that number of molecules of respective reactant that occurs in the chemical equation. Consider a general reaction AA plus BB, and we get CC plus DD. According to the law of mass action, rate is directly proportional to in square bracket A raised to A into in square bracket B, capital B, raised to B. At a given temperature, the product of concentrations of the reaction products raised to respective stoichiometric coefficients divided by the product of the concentration of the reactants raised to the respective stoichiometric coefficients in the balanced chemical equation at equilibrium constant and is called as equilibrium constant of the reaction. See once again, at a given temperature, the product of concentrations of the reaction products raised to respective stoichiometric coefficients divided by product of the concentration of the reactants raised by respective stoichiometric coefficients in the balanced chemical equation is called as equilibrium constant of the reaction. Now derivations of the law of chemical equilibrium. Consider a general reaction in which AA plus BB combined together and the products are CC and DD. The rate of forward reaction is Kf A raised to A into B raised to B. Rate of backward reaction or reverse reaction Kr C, concentration of C raised to C, concentration of D raised to D, where Kf and Kr are the respective rate constants. Means Kf is rate constant of forward reaction, Kr is the rate constant of backward or reverse reaction. At equilibrium, these two rates are equal. Therefore, Kf is equal to Kf A raised to A into B raised to B is equal to Kr C raised to C into D raised to D. Kc is the equilibrium constant, and the following equation represents the law of chemical equilibrium. Remember, Kc is the equilibrium constant, and the following equation represents law of chemical equilibrium. Kc is equal to Kf upon Kr. That means rate constant of forward reaction to the rate constant of backward reaction or reverse reaction. That is C raised to C into concentration of D raised to D divided by concentration of A raised to A into concentration of B raised to B. Okay. Now, the thermodynamic definition of the equilibrium constant involves activities rather than the concentrations of component. The activity of a component of an ideal mixture is the ratio of the concentration of partial pressure to a standard pressure. For any pure liquid or pure solid, the activity is taken as 1. For any pure liquid or pure solid, the activity is taken as 1. For components of ideal solutions, the activity of each component is taken to be the ratio of molar concentration at a standard concentration of 1 mole per liter or 1 mole. So the units cancel and A is equal to in square bracket X divided by C0, where X is concentration in moles per liter, C is to 0. For gases in ideal mixture, the activity of each component is taken to be the ratio of its partial pressure to a standard pressure of 1 bar. To cancel units, A is equal to Px upon P0, where Px is the partial pressure of the gas and P0 is equal to 1 bar, similar to the case with Kp. Now, types of equilibria. Homogeneous equilibria, the equilibrium reactions in which all the reactants and products are in the same phase. Some examples are CH3COO-CH3, it is liquid, plus H2O, it is liquid, and CH3COOH plus CH3OH, all are liquids. So this is an example of homogeneous equilibrium. Next, another example is N2 plus thrice H2, and what we get twice NH3. All reactants and products are in gaseous phase. Therefore, this is example of homogeneous equilibrium. Next, heterogeneous equilibrium. The heterogeneous equilibrium reactions where reactants and products are in different phases. Some examples are twice NaHCO3, it is solid, and the products are C, Na2CO3 solid, and CO2 gas, and H2O also gas. Another example is CaCO3, it's solid, and the products are CaO, which is solid, plus CO2, which is gas. Next, perfect gas equilibrium. For gaseous reactions, A gas, the product is also gas, B, where A and B are perfect gases or ideal gases. We have delta G is equal to GB minus Ga. We have Gibbs free energy change, delta Gb is equal to Gb minus Ga, where Ga is equal to G0A plus RT ln Pa, where Ga is equal to G0A plus RT ln P, and Gb is equal to G0B plus RT ln Pb, RT ln Pb. Next, where G0A and G0B are standard molar free energies of the pure gases A and B. Pure gases A and B. Delta G0 is equal to G0B plus RT ln Pb minus G0A plus RT ln Pa. Therefore, it can be further simplified. Delta G0 is equal to in bracket G0B minus G0A plus RT ln Pb minus RT ln Pa. Therefore, delta G0 is equal to delta G is equal to delta G0 plus RT ln Pb upon Pa, and therefore delta G is equal to delta G0 plus RT ln Q, where Q is Pb upon Pa, where Q is Pb upon Pa. The reaction quotient for any gaseous reaction AA plus BB and gives you CC plus DD. The reaction quotient Q is equal to C raised to C D raised to D divided by A raised to A B raised to B. Next, the reaction quotient Q can be a measure of progress of the reaction. The reaction quotient Q can be a measure of progress of the reaction. If at any time Q is smaller than K, forward reaction must occur to a greater extent than the reverse reaction to establish equilibrium. Conversely, if Q is greater than K, reaction must occur to greater extent for equilibrium to be reached. For Q is equal to Kc, the system is at equilibrium and no net reaction occurs. Equilibrium constant in gaseous phase. Consider the following reaction. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas and the products are twice NH3. Kc for this reaction is NH3 bracket square upon N2 into H2Q. Kc for this reaction is NH3 bracket square upon N2 into H2 brackets Q, where the quantities NH3, N2 and H2 are expressed in terms of concentrations. Kc in terms of pressure, it will be called as Kp and it will be P pressure NH3 bracket square upon P N2 into P H2 brackets Q. Important conclusions about equilibrium constant. The equilibrium constant for the reverse reaction is the reciprocal of that for the reaction written in the forward reaction. When the balanced equation for a reaction is multiplied by a factor n, the equilibrium constant for the new reaction is the original constant raised to the nth power. Thus, K new is equal to K original raised to n. The magnitude of Kc or Kp is a measure of the extent to which reaction occurs. For any balanced chemical equation, C, it is constant at a given temperature. Kc is constant at given temperature. That means it changes as temperature changes. It does not depend on initial concentrations. Next, equilibrium constant and extent of reaction. The Gibbs free energy of a reaction mixture, delta G, depends on the partial pressures and the concentrations of the reactants and products. Therefore, the tendency of the reaction to go in the forward or reverse direction is determined by these pressures and concentrations. Delta G changes during the reaction as the proportions of reactants and products change the composition of the reaction mixture at equilibrium, and it is the composition at which delta G is equal to 0. This is clearly illustrated in the following diagrams. See here in the first diagram, that is A, the progress of reaction, pure reactants and pure products. In the second diagram, pure products are in greater proportion, and here pure reactants are in greater proportion. And at equilibrium, both are nearly equal. See this diagram. The variation of Gibbs free energy of a reaction mixture with progress of the reaction. Pure reactants on the left and pure products on the right. In figure first B, the value of K is much greater. See this diagram. Madam, इकडे सेकंड कॅम्पस ला sorry. Now see the diagram and what we read here. The value of K is much greater than 1, which indicates the product concentration is much greater than the reactant concentration, and at equilibrium most of the reactants are converted into products. Such reactions are product favored. On the other hand, if K is much smaller than 1 and equilibrium is established when most of the reactants remain unreactive, such reaction is called a reactant favored reaction. In figure 1C, this figure 1C, where K is 1, both reactants and products are present in substantial amount at equilibrium. In substantial amount at equilibrium. Now, difference between delta G and delta G0. We know that delta G is equal to delta G0 plus RT ln Q. Delta G is equal to delta G0 plus RT ln Q. Here, Q is reaction quotient. It should have been capital Q. Reaction quotient, which is the ratio of the products of concentrations of the products, ratio of products of concentrations of the products raised to concentrations of product raised to proper powers to the concentration of product of reactants raised to proper powers. That is Q. At equilibrium, delta G is 0 and Q is K. Hence, delta G0 is equal to minus RT ln Q. That is, delta G0 is equal to minus RT ln K. Minus RT ln K. Now, delta G remains constant throughout the reaction. It does not change with composition of the reaction mixture. Next, delta G is the difference in molar free energies of the products and reactants in their standard states, where delta G is the difference in molar free energies of products and reactants at a specified state of reaction. Now, relationship between Kc and Kp. Relationship between Kc and Kp. Consider a general reaction AA. General reaction AA Consider a general reaction AA plus BB and what we get CC plus DD. According to the law of chemical equilibrium constant, Kc for the above reaction can be written as Kc is equal to C raised to C, D raised to D divided by A raised to A, B raised to B. Assuming ideal behavior of gases, we have PV is equal to nRT. Assuming ideal behavior of gases, we have PV is equal to nRT, that is P is equal to n upon V RT, and n upon V can be called as C, that is concentration. Therefore, P is equal to CRT. P is equal to CRT, where P is expressed in bar, C is expressed in moles per liter, and R is expressed in bar liter raised to minus 1, K raised to minus 1, mole raised to minus 1. T is expressed in Kelvin and V is expressed in liters. Next, substituting equation second from equation 1, we get Kc is equal to Pc upon RT bracket raised to C, Pd upon RT bracket raised to D upon Pa upon RT bracket raised to A, Pc upon RT bracket raised to B, where partial pressures of species made dimensional less by dividing respective pressures by 1 bar, which is defined as standard state. Therefore, above equation becomes Pc raised to C, Pd raised to D upon Pa raised to A, Pb raised to B into 1 upon RT bracket raised to C plus D upon 1 upon RT bracket raised to A plus B, where Kp, therefore Kp means equilibrium constant in terms of pressures. Kp is equal to RT Kc is equal to Kp into RT raised to A plus B minus C plus D. Here Pc raised to C, Pd raised to D upon Pa raised to A and Pb raised to B is Kp, and Kp RT raised to AB A plus B minus C plus D, or Kc is equal to Kp into RT raised to minus delta n, or Kp is equal to Kc into RT bracket raised to delta n. Delta n number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactants. Delta n number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactants. Kp and Kc are dimensionless. Term RT is also dimensionless. Next, molecular interpretation of equilibrium constant. Molecular interpretation of equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant indicates a specific composition of reaction mixture when a reaction has attained an equilibrium and is a function of only temperature. To know the significance of an equilibrium constant from Boltzmann distribution of molecules of reactants and products over their available states of energy level at equilibrium. A reaction A gives you products B is considered and is exothermic. Following figure shows Boltzmann distribution of species A and B over the energy level. It can be seen that if reactants and products have similar densities of energy levels, then the one with lower set of energy levels will be dominant. See the first diagram and second diagram, where it is population distribution of two species A and B over their energy levels as per Boltzmann distribution. The reaction A to B is exothermic in this example. Here B will be dominant, which is expected as the reaction is exothermic, and will have equilibrium constant that favors the product formation. Next, delta G0 is equal to minus RT ln K contains delta G0, hence it is obvious that entropy also plays a major role in deciding the composition of the reaction mixture at equilibrium. Along with Gibbs free energy, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Closely spaced, the energy levels are associated with high entropy. In this case, entropy effect dominates over energy, which will be obvious from the following equations. From delta G0 minus RT ln K, we have ln K is equal to minus delta G0 upon RT. Using delta G0 is equal to delta H0 minus T delta S0. ln K is equal to minus delta H0 upon RT plus delta S0 upon R. That is K is equal to e raised to minus delta H0 upon RT into delta S0 upon R. For exothermic reactions, delta H is negative. Hence, K will be higher, and it can be expected to have equilibrium constant that favors product formation, as seen in above figure. Le-Chatelier principle. The principle is, if a system at equilibrium is disturbed by changing its conditions, applying stress, the system shifts in the direction that reduces stress. See the principle once again. The principle is, if a system at equilibrium is disturbed by changing its conditions, applying stress, the system shifts in direction that reduces the stress. If given a sufficient time, a new state of equilibrium is established. Three types of changes can disturb the equilibrium of a reaction: changes in concentration, changes in pressure or volume, changes in temperature. Now, response of equilibrium to concentration. One way to increase yield of the product is by removing a product or by adding a reactant. Consider following reaction: N2 plus thrice H2, and we get twice NH3. Adding a reactant to above reaction, equilibrium will favor the reaction that uses up added substance according to Le Chatelier principle. Hence, forward reaction is favored, which results in more formation of ammonia. This can be very well explained by means of reaction quotient. Here, reaction quotient is NH3 bracket square divided by N2 into H2 bracket Q. At equilibrium, Q is equal to K. When more H2 is added, denominator increases, hence Q value decreases. Hence, Q is smaller than K. Hence, to re-establish equilibrium, reaction proceeds to the right and more NH3 is formed. Removing a substance favors the reaction that produces the substance according to Le Chatelier's principle. Again, at start, Q is equal to K as NH3 is removed. Numerator decreases, hence Q is smaller than K. To re-establish equilibrium, the reaction proceeds towards right and more NH3 is formed. Response of equilibria to pressure. For an ideal gas, PV is equal to nRT or P is equal to N upon V into RT. The term N upon V means concentration, that is moles per liter. At constant temperature, N, R and T are constants. Thus, if volume occupied by the gas decreases, its partial pressure increases and concentration N upon V increases. Therefore, Q is equal to NH3 bracket square upon N2 into H2 Q. If pressure is increased, the partial pressures of all species increase, and here the denominator concentration of H2 has exponent 3, but in the numerator the exponent is 2. Hence, Q is smaller than K. Hence, to re-establish equilibrium, more NH3 will be formed. For the reaction in gaseous state, we can summarize the results as follows. If there is no change in total number of moles of gases in balanced chemical equation, a pressure volume change does not affect the position of equilibrium. Q remains unchanged. If a balanced chemical equation involves a change in number of moles of gases, changing pressure of a reaction mixture changes value of Q. An increase in pressure or decrease in volume shifts the equilibrium in the direction that produces smaller total number of moles of gas until Q becomes equal to K. A decrease in pressure or increase in volume shifts the equilibrium in the direction that produces total number of moles of gas until Q becomes equal to K. Response of equilibria to temperature. If temperature of an exothermic reaction is increased, the reaction will be favored in a direction where heat is removed. It will proceed towards left. For an endothermic reaction, delta H0 positive, the amounts of products are increased at equilibrium by an increase in temperature. K is higher than T for an exothermic reaction. Delta H0 negative, the amounts of products are increased by decrease in temperature. K is larger at lower T. Van 't Hoff equation. Delta G0 is equal to minus RT ln Kp. Delta G0 is equal to minus RT ln Kp. Using delta G0 is equal to delta H0 minus T delta S0. ln Kp is equal to delta H0 upon RT plus delta S0 upon R. Considering these at two different temperatures, ln Kp1 is equal to minus delta H0 upon RT1 plus delta S0 upon R. ln Kp2 is equal to minus delta H0 upon RT2 plus delta H0 upon R. Subtracting ln Kp2 from ln Kp1, we get ln Kp2 minus ln Kp1 is equal to delta H0 R into 1 upon T1 This is one form of Van Top's equation. Now, if the reaction is endothermic, that is delta H0 is positive and T2 is greater than T1, then ln Kp1 divided by Kp2 is negative. As Kp2 is greater than Kp1. In other words, an increase in temperature favors the formation of the product if the reaction is endothermic. For exothermic reactions, the result will be opposite. Increase in temperature favors the production of reactants. If the reaction is exothermic, this is in accordance with Le-Chatelier's principle. It should be noted that Van Top equation is used for gaseous reactions, hence Kp is associated and not Kc. Effect of catalyst. A catalyst is a substance that alters the rate of reaction but is not consumed in the reaction. A catalyst is a substance that alters the rate of reaction but is not consumed in the reaction. A catalyst has no effect on equilibrium composition of a reaction mixture, and a catalyst speeds the attainment of the equilibrium. Thank you.